Okay, so Onward is the latest film from Pixar, and it stars Chris Pratt, Tom Holland, Julia Louis-Dreyfus, Octavia Spencer, a few other people, and it involves around this magical world where basically all these fantasy creatures from mythological lore, they've all kind of combined. They kind of all live in this very modern-esque society, and we follow two brothers voiced by Chris Pratt and Tom Holland. And Tom Holland turns 16. He gets a gift from his late father saying it's actually a wizard staff that can bring him back so he and his brother can spend one day with him when they turn when they're both adults. And due to an incident, he's only legs and pants apparently. So they have to bring him back. They go on a quest to bring the rest of him to celebrate the rest of the day and spend any time possible with their father. So going in this movie, I really didn't have much anticipation. Like most of the Pixar trailers, in my opinion, they're not very good. Like the trailers for this movie didn't impress me that much, and usually trailers for Pixar movies are kind of lackluster compared to the actual film for the most part. And I was kind of thinking, this will probably be the same way. And I walked out of this movie not really loving this movie. It's not a bad movie by any means. This is not Pixar's worst movie by any means. But this is kind of a movie that would probably be great if it wasn't from another studio. Like, I know Pixar has had their ups and downs in recent years, but this movie to me just felt like one of the lesser ones. Let's start off with the positives. The animation overall is pretty good. The animation in Pixar is usually consistently getting better as the films go on, and like the backgrounds in this movie are very impressive. The designs of all these creatures are very intriguing, very impressive. Also, the voice acting overall is pretty good. Tom Holland and Chris Pratt, they do a very good job in their roles. Also, Octavia Spencer, I actually really liked her character in this movie. I thought she was very funny. Julia Dreyfus, she's fine. She doesn't really add too much to her role, but, it could have been much worse. The relationship between Tom Holland and Chris Pratt, their brotherly bond, it grows on you throughout the movie. Because at first I'm like, oh, okay, they're just, stereotypical brothers and such. Because, like, they do all this stuff to each other. And, you do care about the relationship more as the movie goes on. And I thought that was very sweet. And like most Pixar movies, even like in some of their not so good ones, like Brave and Good Dinosaur, like there's usually a good message. And Onward does have a very interesting message about, who raised you. And, I thought that was very... I thought it was a very sweet overall. It has a decent message. And I just kind of felt... I kind of just felt like it wasn't that interesting. Like, I wasn't really truly invested in this movie. Sometimes when they go on a new adventure in their quest, it can be fun, but it kind of like, oh, they're doing this now. Okay, we forget about it. And it's just not really that fun anymore, I would say. The jokes in this movie are hit and miss for the most part. They're not really that creative, but they're not really horrible or anything. It's like, a lot of things in this movie are honestly just hit and miss for me. Like, I kind of just felt like this isn't really one of their best, and which that kind of says a lot, unfortunately. It introduces a bunch of ideas that this movie could go into, like Chris Pratt's character, for instance. He's kind of against the whole modernization of their world. So he talks about like how, games like D&D, like how this is how it used to be and such in their world, and now the world isn't like that anymore. And you can kind of get a sense of what they're going for with this movie with that, but it never really felt fully developed to me. I don't know why. Onward does have a lot of has a lot of really fun moments. It kind of does get off to a slow start overall, but it can be fun at times. But like I said, this is not one of Pixar's best, but it's not their worst by any means. You'll see that from a list I'm going to do very soon. So, Onward, overall, I'll give it 2.5 out of 4 stars. Stream it. Hey, now you can stream it, actually. So, did you watch Onward? Did you buy it on, whatever? Did you download it or something? And also, what is your least favorite Pixar movie? Comment down below, subscribe to the channel. This is Pat, and stay safe.